So now we'll have Rohan Patil, second year student here in computer science, and he'll be giving a talk on web scraping.
First, I want to thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity. And okay, so what is HTML? We know that we write our web pages in HTML. So these are the tags, and means we write our text in these tags. So what we are concerned in web scraping is about taking out this text generally. So that is the World Wide Web, and in this case we are using Python, and that data, whatever we get, for us we can easily read a website, but finally for processing something, or when you want to give it to a computer to do something else for you, you need something like in a good format. So for that we use curl to request the page, but in Python it can be made very easy using a library called requests. This is a government website, and if we just search some keyword here, we can like if we search, I have opened it already to reduce time. So we find that okay, I search for Kisan, and we get some results. Now we can read this, but we want these links here for our next search, that we want to find out the data out of these links. That will be our question. So we observe here that this link is the same except for query equal to the word that we are using. So this is the pattern that we find. So here let's say this is the code that we are going to use to get the HTML code out of requests. Just import it, and so in place of Kisan we can just concatenate any other string that we want, and get these results for any one of these. Now even then this code is in HTML, and we still need to find the links, and it becomes difficult to find these using regular expressions, because there might be many corner cases, and you will have to write all of these. So here comes the real. So before I move on to that, the practical usage of the web scraping is for research also and for business. For research, like we do ML, like everybody spoke on ML, we need some data points. So it is not always possible that we collect it ourselves by on-field data, or we may get it. Sometimes we may scrape it from websites that actually provide this data, movie data. And for business, auctioning sites scrape other auctioning sites to get their data updated continuously. So now to extract this data without regular expression, something BeautifulSoup. It's a library in Python, which means we look at that code there. That is something like will look very, using the regular expressions, it will look something this big, and just import BeautifulSoup and it becomes simple. So BeautifulSoup currently has it's in version 4, and for short we call it BS4. So I did a project for my course, and we had to find the accidents that happened in flights, and this is the Wikipedia page for it. So like now here we go to the each link, and we have to find out the fatalities that occurred in this data. So now this is the event that occurred in March 12, the Landau air disaster, and will be given a year, and so let us say that we have to find out what was the maximum fatality that occurred in one of the events, and we have to output the event data also. So let's say we request the data and then use BS4 to pass the data, and then why BS4 is better than regular expressions, because it gets very simple. It creates everything as an object, and it's natural to understand. For example, I want to find out something like the title. I just need to go into the say the object dot html dot title, and I get the dot text, and I get the content in the title. So means if one wants to write the regular expression, it becomes big and difficult, that you have to take into consideration that what might be in the title, it may necessarily be there, and checking it also becomes difficult. So here say the links that we are going to get, now a.get, so a is the anchor for getting the tag for links, and it is not the text that we are concerned but the link. So the link is written as an part of the tag itself, so href. So this command gets all the content in href tag, and then again we can use request library to get the content from the link. Now what are the limitations of BS4? So here we see that this is a very good website which has all the things correctly formatted. So when you see a website, it is formatted, so we see that the code will also be in a good format, like it will be, I've opened the code here, yes. So you see that it is exactly in a format, B, first the B tag, and then the downside down will be the text, that will be the content. But it is not, now you can, once you understand the symmetry in the whole page, you will be able to easily scrape it. But what happens if something like this happens? Like there are two events happen at the same time, or maybe they have just put it in one entry. Now while scraping this, it will not work directly. So for such cases, we will have to take care of, means we will have to use it, find some way to do it ourselves. Similarly, like finding the table, so table, this is only one table in one event, but where there are two events, for example, there will be two tables. Now if you write a code for getting the first table, it's okay, like you will get the first data, but the second data you will miss it out, and the number of fatalities of 40, it's not something very small, you're missing out a large data there. So that is all about web scraping using BeautifulSoup, and it's easy to use it, and the documentation is extremely good. So enjoy web scraping, it can automate a lot of things for you, like which movies you want to see, you can get it, like what is the list, what you want to download. Thank you.